What's going on? You back hanging out with your lady V on Lit TV, aka Living the Truth Podcast, where we face our reality, honey, so we can start the healing process. Period. Genuine love, that's what I feel when we link up. The vibe is real. Short time that we had, I buried it. I am so excited that you guys are back with me. If this is your first time tuning in with your lady V, what's poppin'? I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. Kings and Queens, I want to talk today about expectations that we give to others. This is very big because what happens when we put expectations on others is that they fail us every time. They fail us. We set these own expectations for these people and they are not aware of our expectations. And we find ourselves getting in arguments and getting in disagreements and kind of looking at that person wrong because it's like, you're not even meeting my expectation. Like, why would I stick around? So it makes it a little bit more difficult to have a relationship with people who is the opposite. Have to really sit back and say, I have to make some changes that best fits me. Is my expectation too high for them to even meet? You start to question things. It becomes a burden. So it's time for somebody to face their reality that the expectations that you have set, it will not get met. The expectation that you have set for your friends, for your co-workers, for your boss, it's not getting met. For one, your expectations for them was not communicated. So only you are aware of what you feel as though they should already know, but they don't know. If that has to be communicated, then what are we doing? I mean, that's the basic. If you have communicated your issue with that person, with your family, your friends, your coworker, and they continue to do the same thing, if they're not willing to change that, then yes, your expectation of them is too high. It's too high. We have to start meeting people where they're at and say, okay, they crazy, they liars, to be prepared. Because somebody is dealing with folks that you have set expectations for and they have failed every time. Because they don't want to meet your expectation of what they know you expect for them to act like, they feel like they're hurting you, or maybe they are getting a thrill off of you, hoping and waiting that they will one day make a change. It's up to you to start making some choices, honey. Are you going to stick and stay? Because they're playing with you. It's intentional. When you know that the expectations are not what you like or not what you expect because they just not even trying, bye-bye. It's time to go. It's time to let them go, kings and queens, because what's happening is that they are provoking you. They are antagonizing you to become a character, to become a person that you don't wish to be. Kings and queens, we have to understand that people do not agree with our expectations. They just sometimes in it for the ride. They in it because there's a motive. They are in it because there's some type of prize. Being with you, being by you, communicating with you, texting you, just having that open access to you. There's a prize to that. So that's probably why they're in it, because they never agreed to meet your expectation. And that's why they fail every time. And one thing I do know is that we cannot change people. We can only change ourselves. Baby, I have mastered the ability to cut off anybody, any person, anything that does not meet my expectation, at least the basics. You coming in with all this drama, you coming in with all this gossip, you coming in with all of this laziness, you complaining all the time, you're codependent. I'm not judging you, but you're not for me. Because the expectation that I need, it would never get met by you, and no need to set myself up for failure because I know you're just not going to meet them. Now, kings and queens, somebody out there or with somebody that's already knowing that they would never get their expectations met, but you have to make a decision. Is this something long term? You want to be a housewife, but your man does not like to work. You could not be a housewife and your man is lazy. You have to make a choice and say, let me face my reality, to say, you know what, I probably just like the things that I can get from that person and not necessarily them, because they don't meet my expectations. And it's normal. What you're doing, you're putting yourself first, because at the end of the day, you want to meet somebody else's expectation. Let me tell you the story time, y'all. So I was with this guy, and he was just too cute, honey. He was handsome, you know, and I expected him to come in, you know, working and being this guy, but this was like 10, 12 years ago. And I liked him or whatever, and we started going out a couple of dates or whatever, and I was over to his house, and his door was just, I'm like, ooh, honey, here, am I in a trap house, right? And it was getting on my nerves, all that doggone knocking on the door. It's like, damn, every time we get settled in, like, a knock at the door. The expectations was getting very much noticeable that he wasn't going to meet it. Y'all, he was not going to meet my expectation of this man that I picture him to be. Because for one, he never knew my expectations of him. He didn't agree to be that person that I expected him to be. He didn't agree. He agreed to be himself. He agreed for me to come over to his house and take a glimpse of his world. At that time, I had a decision to make. Because I came over again. I went over again, honey. But as I continued to be in his presence and being in his world, I realized the expectations that I had for him, it would never get met. And ultimately, I broke it off because I was getting frustrated. I was done. But that's how we have to think nowadays, kings and queens. Whatever happened in the past, that's the past. Moving forward, we have to understand that people do not agree with our expectations of what we expect for them to be like. And it causes problems because now, once again, you're frustrated. You don't want to be in that relationship. You don't want to even be involved. Your expectations are not getting met. Now you're at a dead end. It's time to face your reality, kings and queens, that your expectations have not. Because some of y'all been in a relationship for years, baby, and still holding on that one day my expectations will come to fruition. It's not. It's been 12 years, kings and queens. It's been 18 years. He is who he is. She is who she is. They're not going to change. And that's why it's a big deal to understand that your expectations of a person is very important, but we shouldn't set it so high. We should meet people where they're at, because people do not know, if we don't communicate to them what we expect and what we like and what we don't like, it would never get met, because they have a choice to say, I respect your expectation and I would do good, I would do better, I would try. And then you have some people who just like, I hear you, but that's not me. You know, like that guy. It's not him to work a job. He don't want one. And it's fine if you don't want to work a job, honey. Create something, okay? Have people working under you. Now, baby, you like that knocking sound. It was getting on my nerves. I know it was getting on my nerves because I've already lived that life. I grew up. My mom was a drug dealer. Come on now. It was getting on my nerves. Everybody in and out, in and out. And that's one thing I learned, baby. You never do business where you lay your head at, honey. I'm like, baby, you sitting up here with a revolving door at a place that you call home. Let's face our reality. The expectation is just not for me, you know? You know when you are getting to a place where you are mastering to accept people not meeting your expectations, because you're easy to let it go. You meet somebody, go on a couple of dates, you realize your expectations may not be met because you see they're stuck in their ways. It's easy for you to let go of that, because it's like, I'm not going to waste my time. I know the feeling of suffering. I know the feeling of staying in a place too long and not making a decision to leave. Let's face my reality to say, I can let it go. And you let it go with no animosity. You don't want revenge. You don't want to carry on this grudge. You just simply not meant for that situation or that person. For that job, you're not meant for that job. You're not meant to be friends with that person. your expectation of them will frustrate you. So it's better to cut it off, honey. To stop setting expectations for people that would never meet your expectations that you have set for yourself, the way that you want to live your life. If you're a person of peace, there's no way you're going to be around a lot of people that's toxic. You won't be able to hang long because your expectation of peace is not getting met. So let's start by accepting our reality and living our truth, that we can let things go and not be mad about it. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Hold it down on your side of town. Bye.